Have you ever imagined what it would feel like if one of the world's most legendary stadiums suddenly transformed into a place straight out of a fantasy film? What if, for one unforgettable night, Wembley Stadium was no longer just a venue for football or concerts, but became a magical kingdom filled with enchanting lights, breathtaking performances, and an atmosphere that made tens of thousands of people feel as though they had stepped into Hogwarts itself? And what if the man behind that unforgettable spectacle wasn't a wizard, but one of the greatest entertainers of our generation, Bruno Mars? As videos from the concert began flooding social media, millions of people around the world couldn't stop talking about what they had just witnessed. Comments poured in within minutes. Many fans claimed it was one of the most creative concert openings Bruno Mars had ever delivered. Others admitted they got chills because the entire atmosphere, from the lighting to the costumes and the theatrical presentation, felt as if it had been lifted straight from the Harry Potter universe. But did Bruno Mars intentionally transform Wembley into a magical world, or was it simply the overwhelming imagination of fans who were completely captivated by the moment? Today, we're taking you behind the scenes of one of the most unforgettable nights of Bruno Mars' tour. We'll explore how Wembley was transformed into an immersive fantasy experience, why tens of thousands of fans screamed with excitement from the very first second, how the breathtaking lighting and stage design created an unforgettable atmosphere, and why so many people are calling this one of the greatest performances of Bruno Mars' career. Stay with us until the very end, because there's one fascinating detail that convinced many fans Bruno Mars always knows exactly how to create moments that will be remembered for years to come. The evening actually began like any other major stadium concert. As the London sky slowly darkened, the lights inside Wembley gradually dimmed. More than 70,000 fans filled every corner of the iconic stadium, their faces glowing with anticipation. Many had traveled across continents just to be there. Some had arrived early in the morning, hoping to secure the perfect viewing spot. Outside the stadium, fans exchanged stories about their favorite Bruno Mars songs. Some proudly wore Bruno-themed jackets and vintage tour merchandise. Others carried handmade signs they had spent days creating. Families arrived together, couples embraced while waiting for the gates to open, and even 3 generations of fans stood side by side, proving that Bruno Mars' music continues to connect people of all ages. It already felt like much more than a concert. It felt like a celebration. But everything changed the moment the stadium lights went dark. The deafening conversations instantly faded into complete silence. Every pair of eyes focused on the massive stage. Nobody truly knew what Bruno Mars had prepared. Then, within seconds, golden light slowly emerged from every corner of the stage. Deep crimson tones blended beautifully with warm amber lighting, while delicate layers of theatrical smoke drifted across the floor, creating an illusion of mysterious fog straight out of a fantasy movie. That was the exact moment the audience exploded. The screams became even louder when Bruno Mars finally appeared. But it wasn't simply his entrance that shocked everyone. It was what he was wearing. Bruno Mars stepped onto the stage dressed in an outfit that immediately reminded thousands of fans of the magical world of Harry Potter. Wearing a wizard-inspired robe, a red and gold striped scarf, classic round glasses, and surrounded by theatrical lighting, Bruno instantly transformed the mood inside Wembley. Within seconds, thousands of smartphones rose into the air. Everyone wanted to capture the unforgettable moment. The cheers became absolutely deafening as Bruno smiled and playfully interacted with a small stuffed elephant he held on stage. That lighthearted moment immediately sent the entire stadium into laughter, applause, and non-stop cheering. Moments like these perfectly represent Bruno Mars. He's always been known for blending extraordinary musical talent with genuine humor and effortless charisma. But this night felt different. He wasn't simply performing songs. He was telling a story. He was inviting every single person inside Wembley to step into a magical world where music, imagination, and emotion became one unforgettable experience. The atmosphere grew even more spectacular as the lighting synchronized perfectly with every movement Bruno made. Golden beams swept across the audience before shifting into fiery reds, then melting into soft blue tones that completely changed the emotional mood of the performance. The visual production became so cinematic that many fans later admitted they completely forgot they were standing inside one of the world's largest football stadiums. Instead, they felt as though they had entered an enormous magical castle. As the concert continued, social media exploded with reactions from fans around the world. "This feels exactly like Hogwarts. I've never seen anything like this. Bruno Mars doesn't perform concerts, he creates movies. This is pure magic. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience." Comments like these flooded every platform. Even fans watching from home admitted they became emotional after seeing only a few short video clips shared online. One of the biggest reasons Bruno Mars concerts leave such a lasting impression is because he never allows the audience to remain just spectators. He turns them into part of the performance. Every time Bruno approached the edge of the stage, thousands of hands reached toward him. Every smile he gave triggered another wave of screams. Whenever he pointed the microphone toward the audience, tens of thousands of voices instantly sang every lyric together without hesitation. The connection felt effortless. There was no invisible barrier separating the artist from his fans. For those few hours, everyone inside Wembley became part of the same unforgettable story. Perhaps that's exactly why people are willing to fly across the world just to experience one of his concerts. Bruno Mars doesn't simply perform music. He creates lifelong memories. Later in the show, Bruno once again had the entire stadium laughing as he exaggerated his facial expressions while fully embracing the magical theme of the evening. The audience erupted into hysterical cheers, chanting his name louder and louder. "Bruno! Bruno! Bruno!" The chant echoed throughout every section of Wembley Stadium. Several fan-recorded videos captured Bruno laughing as he listened to the overwhelming roar from the crowd. His enormous smile revealed just how much he was enjoying every second of sharing that unforgettable night with his audience. Meanwhile, the members of his band appeared equally energized. They exchanged smiles, laughed with one another, and performed with incredible chemistry, making it obvious that every detail of the show had been carefully planned. This is one of Bruno Mars' greatest strengths. He understands that a concert is never just about singing perfectly. It isn't only about performing hit songs. It's about giving every person in attendance a story they'll still be telling years from now. And on this remarkable night, Wembley became a place overflowing with unforgettable stories. Stories filled with laughter. Stories filled with surprises. Stories of complete strangers singing together as if they had known each other forever. Stories that proved music has the extraordinary power to unite thousands of hearts in a single magical evening. As the next song began, the atmosphere shifted once again. The lighting became more dynamic, synchronized perfectly with every beat of the music. Fans jumped together in perfect rhythm, and the energy rippled through every level of Wembley Stadium. Many concertgoers later said that every song felt even more powerful than the studio recordings because the atmosphere was unlike anything they had ever experienced. And amid all the breathtaking spectacle, one question continued to echo through the minds of countless fans. Did Bruno Mars intentionally create the Harry Potter-inspired atmosphere as a tribute to British culture? Or was it simply another brilliant surprise from one of the greatest entertainers in modern music?